Hello, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. And yesterday I launched several videos on, about 4 videos on money, Triadic Healing and money. And I was trying to get to the core of what money is. And I did not finish the series. This is me now finishing the series because I really wanted to sit back and get some perspective on it and figure out exactly what the solution was. And I learned a lot afterward. I had like 3 massive, oh. The first thing I noticed was that my biggest issue with, it's a very personal issue. This is where when you do a business, it really brings your personal issues right out into the open. And suddenly you realize what it is you're really dealing with. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, yeah, I have a problem with money. I felt like I wasn't worth it. And I've never had those feelings. I'm a Taurus. Like money and I are like, oh no, we're good. We're good. I've never had an issue with holding money, feeling like I don't deserve it, feeling like I did go through a period where I felt like, I wouldn't even say that I had to choose between my father and money. I just knew that he hated me. There's a lot there. I don't want to get into it right now, but I've already unpacked that somewhere else. I don't want to unpack it again here. So I took a step away from that and I looked at a different direction, and I was realizing that I've got this podcast and website, and I finally figured it out what it is. So there's my personal agenda, what I figured out, and then there's the in conclusion, this is what I realized. And in so doing that, I discovered currency, which is a whole nother, which is really what I want to talk about. So to wrap up in conclusion for me, my personal agenda, as far as having the podcast and having the website there as a barrier, I now know what that is. I have worked in retail. I have worked in every kind of a money exchange situation you can possibly think of, including selling money on Wall Street. I have done business to business, and I have done client common man to business. And I do not enjoy doing business with people one-on-one for the most part. I very much prefer doing business to business. And in that sense, I am referring to somebody, a venue, or somebody who's hosting or an executive producer reaches out to me and we make arrangements. Money is exchanged between the two of us, and they take care of the money aspect between making arrangements, selling tickets between people and their venue, and I just show up as a guest. So that's really my happy place. The other thing is doing my own field trips. I love doing my field trips. I absolutely love my field trips. And for that, that's not a business setting. It is and it isn't. It's a celebration. It's fun. And I find that when you combine, for me, this is again just my very personal experience, that it's not fun for me if I'm exchanging money and it's not for anything fun. So if you're exchanging money for something that's tedious or humdrum or very business oriented, in addition to also working in that kind of atmosphere, that's not fun. Now I can do the business atmosphere. I can do the tedious, let's break this down, but it has to be in a setting where there's no money exchanged. And every time I get that combination, it's just not the right energy for me. So it was a huge realization today that that is just not good for me. It's not good for my energy. It's not healthy for my energy balance. So I'm not doing that. So I am officially cutting everything off as far as consultations. It's nothing I don't do. I don't do coaching. I don't do consultation. I do not sit down in a one-on-one setting. I do not take phone calls. I do not counsel people on phones or Zoom. I don't do it. Don't ask me. And once I realized that, I felt this massive weight off of my shoulder. And it's all about what kind of a money relationship I want to have with people. And I don't mind, oh my God, I love doing the event hosting. I love doing the field trips. I love doing the podcasting. Love doing the podcasting. And I really, really love doing the uh, the speaking engagements, which will become my forte. I'm an oral historian, and that is what 100%. That is going to be primary. What I do is the oral historians. So I'm going to be doing public speaking, podcasting, and I'm going to be doing the field trips. I do have my journey into the self membership, where I do sit down in a workshop casual setting and we'll pick apart a topic. I love doing that. That to me is public speaking again. So I host my own public speaking events, and that will be including my communication classes, my boundary classes, and my emotional management classes. That's all included in Journey into the Self. I have guest passes available if someone wants to purchase a guest pass where they can step in for one day only instead of attending each and every Thursday if they want to just do 1 week. So if you break it down, yeah, I'm loving how all of this is just falling together. So I have my weekly membership, or I have my monthly membership, or an annual membership for the garden with Journey into the Self, where you can join me on Thursdays for a group workshop. And I have my field trips. I have my podcast. So everything just fell right into place once I realized this. And I realized it kept coming back to this currency. And it was actually something somebody had said to me about, oh, I'm losing friends left and right as I heal. And I said, yes, everyone does that, because as you heal, the people you have in your life either A, need a version of you that's broken so they can use you, or B, they broke you so they can use you. And once you stop being broken for them to use you, you become useless to them, and then they leave. The people who you drop out of your life are just the narcissists. I'm going to point that out to everybody. Like, when you go through a healing cleanse and you start to upgrade your life and you're losing all these precious people, newsflash, you're losing narcissists who can't use you anymore. That's why they're dropping out of your life. So as people are grieving all of these losses, newsflash, you're losing narcissists. It doesn't take the sting out of the pain. I lost my ex-husband. I lost my best friend of 17 years. I still grieved. In fact, I took it really hard, even though I knew both of them were narcissists. And realizing that they were both narcissists who were only there to absolutely take advantage of me as a broken remnant. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't help you, we'll figure out something else that will. So that all being said, currency. So he was explaining to me how he lost all of these people. And he's like, I am noticing that I'm gaining more respect. And I replied to him, gaining respect. I said, eventually you will get to that point where respect is no longer a currency. And that's really respect and time are two things that we treat as if they are currency here. Gifts is another one. Gifts is another thing that we treat very much as if they are a currency. And what ends up happening is you end up living a life where you have this currency exchange in your mind, and it's being applied to things that have no business being at all a currency exchange to begin with. You are not supposed to be making exchanges for respect. You're not supposed to be making exchanges for time. Time does not exist. It's a manipulative tool. Time is a manipulative tool. Every time somebody gives you a deadline or a due date, and they say to you, well, there's due dates, and every journalist in the world, every newspaper is going to scream at me about this one. And I almost want to say, in the journalist newspaper world, they're the exception. I really want to say that when you are dealing in a highly scheduled, dependent job, that's part of the profession. Outside of that profession, nothing is urgent. Bills don't have to be paid on time, because you can call them up and negotiate, and they'll move the time or the date like that, like it's nothing, because it's nothing. If like the phone bill being due, like there's no time is not urgent. It really is not urgent. And people use time as a negotiation. They use respect as a negotiation. And It's interesting to see how we get that concept, and money is the same way. Money actually is a currency, and it's a currency that only has value assigned to it by you. And that's really it. That's where your authority comes. Every one of my pens is dead. And that's really it, is when it comes to money, it only has the amount of importance and value onto it that you assign it to. So I think when it comes back to the concept of manifesting money, understanding how money moves and flows within the energy field. That was the other thing, is after last night, I sat down and I did a whole inward. And this was the third thing that I realized is, as long as I was pushing myself to be a coach because everyone told me I had to, I was miserable and I was just not happy. I was just not happy at all because it's not what I want to do. What I want to do is be on stage. What I want to do is stand in the spotlight like this. This is my comfort zone. And realizing that I was finally at a stage in my life where I could accept money for stage performance, for public speaking, for being where I am in life. It was finally this moment where I realized just how much of a barrier, a wall I was holding myself back, how much I was holding myself back. And that included accepting money for I was see, but there wasn't even any money. It's like it was like I was afraid. It was like I was just afraid to go down that route. And that is the route that I have to go down because that's the one meant for me, because that's where I really want to be. So it goes, I really want to be there. I really want that, but I'm afraid, so I didn't go. So I did this instead. And that's when I did the coaching instead. And I go to all these public speaking things, and everyone's like, "Oh, you have to do public speaking. You have to," or I'm sorry, "You have to do coaching. You have to," and I'm like, "Look, I don't enjoy working with the public one-on-one. I love talking about something and then having someone come to me and we discuss what I talked about. That I love doing. Oh my God, do I love doing that." And when I gave my workshop the other day, we talked for like 3 hours afterwards. We didn't end until literally 2 a.m. that morning. So the whole thing was from 10 to 11, but then we didn't actually get off the call until 2 a.m. And I've been preoccupied with emails and talking to people since. It's been wonderful because we have a actual conversation to have, which is the workshop that I gave. So that was absolutely wonderful being able to do that. That was my happy place. And once I realized, oh, this is what I need to be doing, well, I'm going to be doing more of that. In fact, I'm going to be exclusively doing nothing but that. I realized I have my books available. I need to seriously get those out there. I need to, well, they're already out there. I need to just put a spotlight and say, hey, there are my books. Right there they are. So it was this realization of I literally already have the pieces in. And getting back to manifestation over and over, I'm just going to keep bringing it back to manifestation because this is really it. When you sit down and you think about money and manifestation, I was thinking, oh God, there's just so much to cover here. It was a realization. It was what I said in one of my previous videos, that when we are in a situation with something and we are told that the right way to manifest it, it's when I was referring to my two professional manifestors, and they were both saying that they manifest at the point of desperation. That's the first time they manifested. And the difference is open mind, looking for opportunity. That is the common denominator. That is it. I think that is the answer to manifestation. Open mind, look for all opportunity. Look for all opportunity with an open mind. And we're not. When we are so focused on one particular thing or one particular someone, when we are hyper focused, we're closed in like this, like we don't see it. And that's just it. If you are hyper focused on one option, you're going to miss all the other outcomes. You're going to miss all the other options. And when you get to that point of desperation, you stop looking through this fish lens and you start pulling back and going, look, open your mind, open your heart, look for all opportunity. Now, the question is, has the opportunity always been there and you just haven't noticed it? Are you suddenly noticing things that you haven't noticed? I think this is really all about having an open mind and looking for all and other opportunity, being open to receive and accept more opportunity. And that I think is really it. And I can feel that with my own partner, where when you look into manifestation, I can feel all of these opportunities opening up, all these doors to walk through. But he's not going to follow me with each and every one of these doors. And there's going to be times where I'm going to have to leave him behind. And that's just it. Are we closing doors because we don't want to leave someone behind? Are we still holding ourselves back to prevent going forward and growing? That's really what it just keeps coming back to. And we have this, yeah, definitely. When we look at something like currency, when we look at something like money, it's currency. It's such a gorgeous word because it is such an energy word, like electrical current, currency. It moves exactly like energy. It is a current. Money is a current. It moves with a current. But again, it's a concept that moves with this current. So it's a matter of, who do you want to do business with? What kind of a person do you want to do business with? And this is where it keeps coming back to your niche, and it keeps coming back to your target audience. Who do you want to do business with? And here's the real kicker. With what I have set up with Triadic Healing, the people who come to me for Triadic Healing, they don't want one-on-one. They want DIY healing. And that's just it. I have said this before. You have one therapist taking on 40 patients a month, one person to 40. I don't want that kind of a workload. And the patients need more attention than 1 hour every 2 weeks. Or you're looking at 4 hours of therapy a month max. 2 to 4 hours of therapy a month. Let's do that. If you see a therapist once every 2 weeks, you are looking at 24 hours of therapy a year. That's not sufficient. None of talk therapy is sufficient. So Triadic Healing is not coaching. It's a DIY program. It is 100% a DIY program designed for people to come in, get what they need. It's organized, it's done, it's set, it's good to go. They follow this curriculum, they go to the links, they do the meditation every day, done. Nothing else is required. It's done. And I'm sitting here going, yes, I'm selling it for free because I don't do coaching. I don't do coaching. I'm definitely going to be writing a couple books about Triadic Healing and psychology. And then you can buy my books. You can attend my talks, but I don't do coaching. And if you're knocking at my door saying, please coach me, there's probably a good chance we are not a good fit for each other, because Triadic Healing is for the DIY. I thought about doing like an accountability check-in where I'll email me if you want. Here's my DIY program, and email me if you have questions. But if you're not going to do the work, if you're not going to put yourself through the program, I can't help you. And that's just it, is the people who want healing hand-holding, they've missed the point. They've really missed the point. You don't get to do healing hand-holding. Healing should never be, and it's not. We really need to change the way we think about healing. Healing is not something where you can have your hand holded through it. It doesn't work that way. It's 100% a DIY process. The people who don't heal effectively are the people who are expecting hand holding in a DIY setting. And that's, I feel so fantastic now. I feel so solid. All right, I know where I'm going with this. All right, so here's the deal. And now I'm defined. I am now defined. So when it comes to money, truly what money is, and I'm still staying solid with this, it's a tool. It's a tool to ease a currency exchange alone. And that's it. It's a tool to simplify. There, I like that word. Money is a tool that simplifies trade. That's it. It just simplifies trade. And It is neither good nor bad. It just is. It is neither good nor bad. It just is. And if you're looking to manifest it, open mind, open heart, courage to take risk, and look for all opportunity. And the other side of that is you gotta know what you want. It all has to come from your love center. You cannot use your subconscious mind when you are manifesting. Your subconscious mind cannot be involved in the manifestation process. It's all about your love center. It's all about you looking for opportunity. And it's all about you having your open mind, your open heart, and the courage to talk. Yes, I feel solid and defined now. I feel more solid now than I have ever felt. Thank you so much. If you love shit like this, like, follow, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what part of the video that resonated with you. And donate, help the garden grow. Buy my books. Take a look at the link below. Everything you need is there. And become a Healing Garden member. Take a look. You get to join me on Thursdays with Journey into the Self, where you get 3 hours at least of a solid evening talk of just philosophy, communication, boundaries, emotions. I cover it all. I have it's all set to go. So thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.